Okay, the time has come for me to talk about the Apple Watch Ultra. I've had it for a few weeks now, and this video I've actually found quite hard to do because there's so much to talk about, there's so much to discuss, there's lots of different comparisons to be made with this watch and other watches, plus just lots of details about the watch itself. So I found this particular video quite tricky to start. So this will be just an honest review, first impressions about the watch, because I've given it a few weeks now to let the sort of thoughts, feelings, how it works, everything sink in, not just sort of gun-ho, flash in the pan, immediate response from day one, being all excited about the watch. So yeah, I'm hoping this is going to be quite a simple, honest review about the Apple Watch from somebody that loves running distances, ultras and things, so loves training in the gym, and somebody who's active but also likes to have quite nice looking things. Okay, so with full transparency and honesty in mind, I've got to say one of the main reasons I switched back to Apple was mainly because of its looks. Much more like a sort of a proper solid watch, weighty, the ceramic materials, the sapphire crystal screen, the feel, the look, the size, the weight, everything just sort of much more of an attractive looking watch as opposed to the Apple Watch of yesteryear, which was a little bit on the placky side, just a little bit too lightweight, a little bit too flimsy. So I've got to say, as soon as I saw this watch, I just fell in love with the actual look of it. So as it looks, very, very impressed. In regards to looks, one of the coolest things about this watch, I think you'd have to agree, is its colors and the brightness. So we have a 2000 nit screen. That makes a huge difference because that was also the main reasons I switched to my Garmin from my Coros, because my Garmin was actually pretty bright and worked quite well. The Coros was quite dim, so I was very pleased. But when I saw the 2000 nit here, which was just very, very bright, the clarity, the image, the screen just looked so nice. And I think, yeah, it's important to be able to see all your display super clear on your watch, especially when you're running, especially when the metrics are quite small and you've got lots of different displays on there. You want to be able to see that. I'll show you in a second what it looks like outside in the sun. So just to show you what I mean, we are right outside now in the super bright sunshine, but I think you should be able to still see the image quite clearly with the sun reflecting on it there. And that's with the bright light shining right onto it there. And the image is still very nice and crisp and clear, as are the beautiful colours that they have there. Beautiful colours. If you look at the difference in the brightness with the Apple Watch to the Garmin, you could probably see just the clarity of the display is a lot brighter on the Apple Watch than the Garmin. I'm not going to be slagging off the Garmin because this is an amazing watch, although the Fenix 6 does have its issues, which I've talked about before in the past. But just in regards to brightness, clarity, screen, I have to say the Apple Watch really did get me. So that's the look, the feel, and also the brightness of the watch. You can't really compare, let's say, the Apple to the Garmin for two main reasons. Now, firstly, this watch is called the Ultra. Now, the Apple Watch Ultra is supposed to last for about 36 hours. In full GPS mode, I think it's about sort of 18 hours or so. So, yes, it is enough to do an Ultra, you know, a 50K or even 100K. 100 miles will be pushing it, but I think there are some low power modes coming in the future. I mean, I've had that watch on full blast with everything, with GPS, with playing with music as well, and with the cellular on, and with just full accuracy. 2 hours, let's say, of all the use of can possibly go, I think it dropped about sort of 15%, 15 to 20% max, but that obviously is going to full extreme with everything playing. You can not have the cellular on, you can not have play the music, and obviously it will last much longer. But the battery, although it's a lot better than previous models by a long shot, and actually it's quite a quick charge with the USB-C as well, compare it to the Garmin, let's say the Garmin Fenix 6, which I have here, is chalk and cheese. This one is still going. I haven't charged this up for about a month, and it's still ticking along. This one will go through about a day and a half quite comfortably, but the charge is quite quick. So you cannot compare it to the Cintos, the Garmins in that respect, because all those watches will completely smash the Apple Watch to pieces. But that said, this is a phone as well. So therefore, it's not only a phone, it's a brighter screen. There's a lot more going on in it. So therefore, the battery just it can't compete, let's say, because of those all the extra features this have. In regards to not comparing, for the battery, this obviously is a complete clear winner. This here, it's a phone. You know, I can go out on long runs, I can have my Bluetooth headphones synced to it here, and I've got the safety that I know if anything happens to me, I can take a quick call, or if anything happens to my kids, whatever, I can get contacted and I don't have to bring my phone along with me. And bringing the phone isn't a big deal, but sometimes it is quite nice just to go more minimal, have nothing on there, and actually, especially with the race that I've got coming up on the 4th of December, it'd be nice just to take this watch to do my music with my Aftershock headphones and have the ability to still be connected if needed, and also to connect to somebody else. So that's why I think it's very hard to compare these watches to other watches, because this is more, it's a phone in a watch, as well as GPS, as well as tracker, as well as many other apps and things you have in there. I mean, you can pay, obviously, Garmin Pay, but you've got Apple Pay, plus millions of other extras. So that's why it's quite tricky to fall into the trap of comparing, because it's like chalk and cheese. Plus, this watch has a number of really cool features, which I'll go into in a second. But for example, I'm just going to show you one right now. If you can see in a second, I use my action button as a torch, and it really manages to work extremely well. Lights up the room nicely, as you can see here. It's a great little torch. I think it's some sort of flashing mode right now, but the light that comes out of this torch is really impressive, and I've used this quite a few times at night to find stuff. So I really like that little feature too. The torch feature is pretty cool. Right, let's get out of the loo. Another cool feature, I'm going to stick the watch in the water, and you see, oh, just missed it. It tells you the depth. So right now it's just saying 10 centimeters down, which is true. As you take it out of the water now, and this is quite cool as well, because now if I do this, you see, it wants me to press this button down to expel the water out of that little speaker thing there. Come out. So it just pushes the water out of that little speaker there, so the sound is much clearer when you come out of the bath, pool, whatever it is. So I don't actually use the native app inside for running, training, etc. Sometimes for the weights and things, but especially not for running. I always use WorkOutDoors, which I find is a much better app, which I'll show you in a second, because the data fields are amazing. But what is interesting, in fact, you'll see here that the orange button there. Now that's the action button, which turns on the torch or sets other things and stopwatches, etc. But what it doesn't do is start and stop your run, especially in the WorkOutDoors app, which I'm getting to the point here, which means that actually it just means that you don't stop your watch as much during a run, because you have to do the tap screen here to stop and start the watch, and sometimes that can be a bit of a faff. So every time you cross the road, or every time you need to go to the loo or tie your shoelaces up, you don't stop your watch. So what I'm trying to say is, in a weird way, it makes you more of an honest runner, because your average pace is what it should be, really, because you can't stop a watch, you can't stop time in a race, so you shouldn't necessarily always have to keep stopping your watch every time, I don't know, something happens and you can't cross the road for 30 seconds. So it's I find that quite good. You can still pause it, it's not an issue, but it just is a little bit more of a faff, so you just tend to do it not as much. So hence the honest runner. So as I said before, I don't actually use the native app inside the Apple one here. I don't use these, but what I do use, because they don't link to Strava, what I do use, what's it called again? Sorry, it is called WorkOutDoors app. WorkOutDoors app, some incredible data screens, and this here is just my generic one that I have with 8 data screens. But as you can see here on the actual phone, where you can sync up everything, you can have millions of different data screens. In regards to your running, I mean, there's just millions of different metrics: elapsed time, time to sunset timing, heart rate, pace, elevation, calories, steps, etc., etc. So that WorkOutDoors app is incredible, and my Stride FootPod connects nicely up to everything as well, so it all works brilliantly. So super impressed with that. Okay, that's it. That's it for the review. It is just a short, 10 minutes hopefully, short review. I haven't gone into the full details because this is more of a general feel for the watch and why I've gone back to Apple as opposed to Garmin, and my thoughts, after the first few weeks, which are all very positive. Please let me know down in the comments below if you guys have this watch, what you think of it. Also, if you wouldn't touch it with a barge pole, because in your opinion, it's just not an ultra watch. And I can see for a multi-day event, this wouldn't work because you would have to recharge it. But for anything up to 100 kilometers, this watch would work perfectly fine. And there are some low power modes coming out soon, which might extend the battery life. But anyway, right. I hope that helps. And as I said, I'll be uploading more videos about the watch very soon with more details. But yeah, please click that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you have, thank you very, very much. And I will see you all very, very soon in the future. Right, that's it. It is time to go.